second part of the book, and the lesson that we are reviewing today is how are you? It's very interesting. And today we have someone very special that will be reviewing the book for us today.
Yeah.
And her name is Abiola Oduye. So I think I'll just hand over to Abiola to review the book for us for 15 minutes so that we can now take questions and comments from everyone, contributions and all of that. So yeah, I think at this point I'll just hand over to her to review this part of the book. So over to you,
Welcome.
Abiola.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Informa. I'm happy to be here this evening, and I'm happy to be doing this with all of us. Help you how you enjoy your stay here. So we get into the business of the day here. Good evening, everyone. And I'll be starting just like the way Jeff started. How are you all doing? Yeah, how are you all doing? So please, you can put that in the chat box, in the chat section, so that, you get a review of that. Yeah. So how are you? How are you? And, from that, statement, you could see that was in how are you? Oh, was in is there anything so special about it? Yeah, I can tell you after reading this book that there's much more to, responding to the question. And Jeff Keller made us realize that there are three responses. There are three ways with which you could respond to someone when someone asks, how are you? And the three ways basically is you have the negative response, you have the mediocre response, and you have the positive response. So now into the type of response that we have. So the negative response is such that there are people who, when they are being asked, how are you? They basically say, oh, I'm tired. Oh, my day was bad. Oh, I can't just imagine how my day went. Basically even saying that it has an effect on you. And even to the person that asked you, it has an effect, on the person. And Jeff Keller made us know that the negative phrases that you reply back when someone asks you, how are you? Poison, in a way, it's poison your attitude. In a way, it turns you off. And not just you, it has an effect on the person who asks you. There's a way it feels, there's an impact, there's an aftermath effect that it has on you by simply saying, oh, my day was bad. And because of the aftermath effect that has on you, every other things that you engage in throughout that day, is being affected. So, and the second response is the mediocre people. When you basically ask them, how are you? They're like, I'm okay. I'm okay. Not too bad. How are you? It could be worse. And Jeff Keller is trying to, yeah, they're a step above the negative response. But, in a way, that too has an aftermath effect. He explained that, do you really want to do business with someone that tells you it could be fine, or someone who assumes that, oh, I can't do it could be better. Yeah. So it's like, in a way, this too has an effect on you. And what effect does it has on you? It simply diminishes your energy. It simply diminishes your energy. And when you develop a mediocre attitude, you get mediocre results. It's as simple as that. And the third response is when you give the positive response. And somebody asks you, are you? And you simply say, oh, great, I'm fine, I'm doing well. Or probably you just say terrific in Jeff's words. and or you simply respond, it's amazing, my day was amazing, or my day was excellent, or my day was super, the super duper, feelings. And what does this gives you? When you respond like that, it's lights up the room. It lights up the people you are responding to, and it has an effect on both you and the other person. So all this put together, Jeff told us that a smile is an inexpensive way to improve. Yeah, you might not actually be feeling uh that way, or excellent or terrific, like you have said, but in a way it has a positive effect on you. And that was what we did in the last discussion, that says that watch your word, what you say, manifest in you. What you say manifest in your attitude. And from that analysis, Jeff made us realize that you should choose. Look at the list of the negative response. Look at the list of the mediocre response, and look at the list of the positive response. Which one would you rather pick? I'm very sure most of us are on this call, would rather pick a positive response, to say that, yeah, there's a kind of positive vibe that you get when you say positive, when you respond positively. And another thing that Jeff mentioned is that mentioned was that you should join the positive group, positive minded people who, when you speak with them or when you have a discussion with them, they give you positive response. There is something that when you discuss with positive people, the response that they give you, even if you yourself you are not feeling at the top of the game, they would, elevate your spirits, and you'll be like, oh yeah, I can do this. I can do this. So we should join the positive people. And Jeff made us realize that your words are fulfilling prophecy. Look at someone who is being asked that, how are you feeling? Definitely, the person asked the person knew definitely that person is sick. But the response of that person to that person, oh, I am strong. Not the person is responding, not because internally is truly strong. It's just, a word of affirmation to tell you that, oh, I am strong. And by so doing, it has an effect in such a person. And Jeff concluded by telling us that you should start having a positive habit, a positive habit to say that, okay, whatever I tell myself, whatever I tell people, whatever discussion I have with people, it will always, be positive. And he cited an illustration of Sally. Sally, who got to work or got to the office where she works, and she was being asked, and was like, I am tired. And for the rest of the day, she's tired. And suddenly when she got back home, she saw that the ticket that she had with her, she won a $10 million money. So, and even with that, you would be wondering, is it not this person that said earlier during the day that she was tired, and all of a sudden, because of the good news she received, she became, so happy. So in a way, we should be positive. And Jeff made us realize that it's not as if you want to lie. It's not as if you want to deliberately say something you are not feeling. He said that it depends on what you decide to focus on. So meaning that as individuals, we should be able to focus on the what matters. We should be able to focus on the positive side. He made us realize that even if what you are feeling is negative, try and count your blessings. And this goes a long way in impacting in our lives. Even if what we are going through presently is not going the way we want, we should rather not look at the recent happening, but look at the blessings that we have, that we are still living, that we are still eating. We can provide food ourselves, we provide shelter for ourselves, and the likes of it. So I would want to suggest or advise, like Jeff advised, that we should form a positive attitude and give positive response. Thank you. Over to you, Ufoma.
Thank you so much, Abiola. As in today's as in, you said it all, like that's what, as in, lesson that we're reading today. How are you? Is we say it, like I think Jeff Keller mentioned that we say it at least 50 times a day or thereabout. And just to mention, if anyone that wants to contribute, please go ahead and raise your hand. So um, it's something that we always meet people every day, either via phone call, at work, or as we go about our daily activities, that we just want to ask us how are we doing. And somehow our response defines how our day eventually goes out. So turns out eventually at the end of the day. So it's so important that no matter how bad the day may start, we should always be positive. Thank you so much for that review. I don't know if anyone has any additions or comments to add to what our review has done today. She has done a fantastic job. I mean, I don't know if anyone in the comment section, but while we wait for people to raise their hands and add to it, I mean, I think there was one part of the book that says a smile is an inexpensive way to improve our look, improve your look. So, I mean, then again, no matter how bad, yeah, your day is starting or how bad the previous day was, right? It's important that we just put a smile and be positive, because that eventually defines how the day goes. So having that positive mindset, let's not, I mean, there are three, as Abiola said, there are three responses that we can give to how are you. It's either we are negative or we are mediocre. So we should try not to be any of those two buckets. So we should be positive. If someone asks us, how are you doing? Say, yeah, excellent, I'm excellent, fantastic, my day is going very well, I'm doing great. Those positive response just helps us eventually. I can see some hands or I think for Lashade, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. Thank you. Hi, Folashade. Yeah,
Okay. Hi, good evening, everyone.
good evening.
I want to I want to talk on the concept of replying in a positive way. It goes a very long way, and it's something that I've experienced like a lot. Like if somebody asks me how am I, and I say, oh, I'm even tired, like I'm tired in advance for the whole week, because that's something I say a lot of times, and I found out that I am always tired for the rest of the week. I'm tired. Like I'm not excited to go to work. I'm not excited to do anything. But when I say when I was excited to start working this particular job, when I was like, oh, I cannot wait to start. It's I really could not wait. And when I started, it was enjoyable for me. I was so happy. I was okay doing the job. But when I started saying, oh, this work is stressful, this job, I cannot just wait to finish, and oh, I find out that I'm not more enjoying the work. I'm just, so it goes a long way. It really goes a long way, like choosing your words, and we should not just be neutral. I'm just fine, Jerry. But we should be excited. We should say we have, even if we don't feel it yet, we'll definitely in the long run, like as time goes on, we start to feel the way we speak. So that's just
Thank you. Thank you so much, Folashade. Moses, with your phone, please go ahead. Hi, Moses. Okay. Moses, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. I can see your hands is up as well.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Abiola. Thank you, Ufoma and Folashade. I sort of want to highlight a perspective on this, and it's one that I sort of contemplated when I was reading through this particular lesson, right? There's this concept of, is it the egg before the chicken or the chicken before the egg? I know it's strange, but let me break that down. So is it your feelings and your experiences before your responses that determine your responses, or your responses that determine your feelings? Right. So there's somewhat an unending cycle of, I'm feeling this way. If I'm responding this way, will it seem like I'm not true to myself or my feelings? That's one. And then two, even if I respond this way, does it really affect the feelings on the long run? Do you understand? So a there's a give and take between your feelings and your responses. And I sort of think that this particular lesson is strong on that, right? Sort of helps you to say which determines which, right? And what position do you take? While there's a conversation, and I totally highlight and accept that conversation on the one hand, I believe that the key, right, to deciphering these passages is in knowing that you have a responsibility to take a decision on whether it is the feelings that would affect the response, or the response would affect how you feel. So it's not about the circle, it's about where you stand in that continuum, right? There's this continuum of, there's this far right end of feelings, there's this far left end of my responses. What decision are you taking on that parallel line, right? Where is your pendulum swinging towards? What decision are you taking, and why are you taking it? And that's what Jeff is saying, that you have, or you hold the responsibility to make a decision whether your feelings affect your response, or your response determines your feelings. And it's more likely that if you accept that responsibility to say, no, I want to be the one to determine these feelings by responding right, or I want these feelings to just determine whatever it is I will say. Of course, we know that feelings are subjective, like Jeff said. They can flow this way today, they can flow this way tomorrow. So it's more or less better or more fruitful to take charge, to take that responsibility, to own it and say, okay, yes, I want these responses on the long run to determine how I feel. Not that my feelings would determine my responses. I'm saying this because the circumstances around us today, let me not use the word T-pain, but I know we all understand when we say T-pain. The circumstances in this T-pain era, it forces your feelings to be a lot more dismal, right? To be a lot more sad. So it means that you have to take charge by saying, no, I want my responses to be better, and I will not leave the circumstances around my feelings to determine my responses. So thank you very much again, Abiola. That's my contribution. Over to you, Former.
Thank you so much, Moses. Yeah, like we determine how we are in charge of how, like it is, how we want our day to go, or how we want things to turn out for us. So we are in charge of what we say, right? The key is in our hands, basically. Like you said, a lot is happening around us at the moment, and it's a whole lot that will make us to feel that what's happening. But in all, we should, I mean, still have a positive mindset, you know, at the end of the day. I don't know if you have any more contribution, just to mention.
Go ahead. Oh,
Okay, yeah, go
okay.
ahead, Mr. Walker.
All right. So thank you so much, Abiola, my party for Jongo, and the other guys, Moses Ofonwa and Bola Shadi. The part I want to emphasize is the way Jeff wrote that passage. right? If you all observe, because when I was reading it, and the truth is, this is the first time I'm reading this book. So when I read with some expectations in mind. So for example, when I was reading How Are You, I was wondering, how should I manage a situation if I am truly not happy? And as I was reading through, I got to a passage says, what of if you are truly not happy? And then he addressed my concern. What am I trying to say? If you want to be a good speaker, if you want to be a good writer, you should write in anticipation of your readers. What could likely be the concerns that your readers will have or your listeners can have while listening to you or reading your book, and then you proactively address it. And that's very important to me because ideally, when you look at it, people will tell you about fake it till you make it kind of concepts, right? That, oh, I'm not happy. How should I fake happiness? So if you look at, there's a TED talk, maybe if I find that link, I can share it, that says that fake it until you have it. And it was trying to say about mood. That if, for instance, I'm going for an interview, if I'm able to stand, put my two arms on my chest as if I'm confident, right? Or put my two hands on my waist and stand bold and tall with my chest out, with my shoulder up, that you are likely to be more confident in that interview than someone that is going there lowered, scared, and worried about the outcome. So, and they did an experiment, I think it was Oxford or Cambridge. They did an experiment. They took about 10 people into a room, right? Two different rooms. And they asked some of them there's an hormone that controls confidence, and then there's another hormone that shows when we are scared. Like I think that's an adrenaline or something. So, and they put them, before putting them into the room, they checked the level of adrenaline. And then they asked you, stand as if you are confident, just beef off your shoulder, your chest out, just show that you are confident. Just fake that confidence. And the other person, they told them to lower their shoulders and look scared. And then they both of them went into interview and they came out. First, the performance of those people that felt confident. They not like they really knew a lot, but they just felt confident. They performed better. Their level of hormone that's tilted towards confidence showed also came out well and projected them more positive. What is this telling us is that truly, truly we might not be happy. Truly, truly we might be sad. But it's just our decision to be happy or the other way. And look at the scenario that Biola and Jeff gave about someone that was so depressed, unhappy, tired, and then got home and saw a check or a voucher of $10 million. The same person that was tired became happy. And that's to tell you the energy and the decision to be happy was resident in that person, just that the person has chosen not to have that. So by just saying that all of the things going on in the nation. Moses has told us about tipping. In fact, the first time I heard about tipping, I was like, what's tipping? Until I asked one, I said, I don't know tipping. So all the things going on is enough to make us depressed. But the truth is, do we have control over it? The answer is no, we don't have. But can you control your mood? Can you make yourself happy and keep going with hope and a lot of energy to get positive outcome? Yes, you can. So that's what Jeff is saying. That how are you? Let us, in fact, when I read How Are You, I was shocked because when you asked me how I am, I'm tired. But I'm now looking, how are you? Oh, I'm good, I'm happy, I'm excited, and I'm learning to have that positive language. Just to say that that's a very good thing part I've learned. And thank you, Abiola, and the team that's contributed today. From over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you. Like you said, we can't have control as to how we decide how our day goes or how our mood goes, basically. So I mean, like one part of it, you attract what you see, basically. So if you attract negative, if you if you attract negative things, you would get negative results. So it's important that we always say the right things, positive things that would somehow in the end make us have a fantastic and an excellent day. I don't know if anyone still has wants to contribute, just to mention, don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles. And I mean, also, if you are not a member of the group, WhatsApp group, you can, I think the link is in the chat. You can just click on it and join. If you also want to be a reviewer, please reach out to Kazim or any of the admins in the WhatsApp group. We would definitely be glad to have you review any part of this book for us. I think it's almost 8 o'clock, so I think one thing I know that we should take out today from this lesson that we review today, how are you, is that we should be the people that light up the room, right? Not people that the room lights up when we walk out of the room. So in essence, we should, I mean, always have a positive mindset, always say the positive things, because in the end, no matter how our day may be or how things may be, things that are going on around us may be affecting us, eventually things will just turn out, I mean, fantastic for us. So we have about 2-3 minutes left. I don't know if anyone still wants to add, contribute to everything, I mean, that the reviewer has done today. We've had a couple of people that have spoken. I don't know if anyone else still wants to add to all of that has been said so far today. Okay. Okay, okay, I thought someone wanted to make a comment. This one or so. Okay. Okay, I think maybe I should just say one more thing. So I think another thing that I would just like to add in everything that we've said is that, okay, when people say, ah, thank God it's Friday, we say it a lot, honestly. I would say I'm guilty of that. We should not say it with the mindset that, I've had a bad week, so I'm happy, I'm looking forward to the weekend. We should say that, yeah, it's been a good week, even though it's TGIF, right? So because when we say it like thank God it's Friday, like I'm looking forward to the weekend. It makes it sound like we've had a very not so very good week. So maybe we should rephrase the way we say it. I mean, I think that's one thing I'll try to take out from this lesson. How are you? Yeah, so I think it's about 1 minute to 8. I'm not sure. Okay, I can see some comments in the chat. Really, oh, I'm also guilty of TGIM. I'm telling you. So yeah, so I think it's about time for us to call it a day. Thank you all so much for joining, and thanks to our reviewer Abiola. Thank you for a fantastic job. And like I said, please don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles. And yeah, we would like to have you on our WhatsApp group as well, in case you are not a member. So thank you all so much for today. It's 8 o'clock on the dot. So we'll call it a day and see you same time next week, 7:30 p.m. on next week, Saturday, to review another part of this book. Thank you so much, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you for more. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely weekend. Bye bye.